Hi everybody, thank you for joining us. So we know the situation is a little bit complicated to do. It's complicated to do training in the cabinet or to be more than 5 or 10 persons together in a room. That's why we try to do some online training for you guys. Today I'm with Thomas Arnaud, so most of you know him already. He's the guy doing the training for us. We will do 5 online training together. Every week we will try to go deeper. So today, the first session, it's a little bit like beginners. So some people might know already what we're going to do. But every week, we will go deeper into the techniques. And one of the training will be also on how to use PresCam to communicate with the prescriber and with your patient in order to develop your patient database. There is a live chat. You can ask any question, and we will answer or not, depending if it's linked with the topics. Yeah. So let's go.
Yep. Thank you, Laurent. So, hi everyone. Like Laurent said, I think I know most of you guys already. I'm Thomas. I work with CDAS Technologies since 2013 already, so a few years. I work now in a medical house. So today the topic will be the podometry, the sensor platform. So in general, how it works, it's a sensor, a pressure sensor, so it must be different. It's a different data from the podoscope. You know, the podoscope, autopodoprint, the blueprint, it's the contact surfaces, and this will be the pressure surfaces. So you will have a different analyze and different data to analyze. So it's not simply an electronic podoscope. No, it's more complicated than this. It will be all the contact of the point of pressure. Okay, so it's a really different technology. How it works, basically it's a few sensors inside. So when you activate a sensor, you will activate more or less pressure, and the software behind will analyze the pressure point and translate the pressure point by colors, graphics, percentage, stuff like this. So basically, why to use such equipment in your cabinet? First of all, before everything, is to help you in your clinical examination. That's why we decided to do this webinar first. Why to use this pressure plate before to go deeper in a clinical examination? Because today you have to work with such equipment because you have some doctors who asked for, you have some physio who asked for, you have some sports club, even sports shops. A lot of people use such equipment. So as podiatry, you have to use this equipment also in your cabinet. And so the first help is the help of the clinical examination, of course, with such equipment. Why? Because, for example, in static, if you don't have such equipment, it will be difficult for you to analyze the pressure point between the right and left, for example. Do you have more weight on the right? Do you have more weight on the left? Forward, backward, stuff like this, it will be hard on your eyes. This is for statics. Also for dynamic, of course, we have a lot of things to analyze in dynamics. You know that most of the pathology we have in our cabinet, it's because of dynamic problem. So if you don't analyze dynamic problems, you will have difficulties to solve the pathology. Okay, so as it's difficult to analyze in the cabinet the dynamic, you will use a pressure plate platform to analyze the dynamic. So the first goal of such equipment is to help you in your clinical examination. Second goal is to help you to communicate also. Communicate with the patient first. So if you explain, for example, you have overpressure under the second metatarsal bones, but you just explain with the words like this. If you explain with such software, you show the pressure point in a red position, and the patient will understand why you have pain on that point. So if basically he understands better your orthotics, the orthotics will work better also. So communication with the patient, communication with the prescriber, so with the doctors, with the physio, with the osteo, chiropractor, depending on where and in which country you work. The system is a bit different, but you will have anyway some different prescriber to communicate with. So you basically send a letter with the explanation, the nice picture, the commentary, the comments, stuff like this, and you will improve and grow your cabinet. Okay. So communication, second point. Third point, you can also make some statistics with the platform. If you add some data inside, of course, like physical activity, which sports, the pathology, the shoe size, all the information you will add inside the software. At the end of the year, you can have some nice graphics with how many Gonadja had during the year, how many runners, and so on. So it's nice for the cabinet development. And the last point, not the least, you have also the follow-up of your patient. What does that mean? If you have one patient, for example, one kid, this year, then next year, the year after, and so on, you will have the comparison between the different data. I mean, if you did a clinical examination with statics, for example, you will compare next year, is it better, is it worse? So these 4 different points. Make your clinical examination better, communication, statistics, and follow-up. Okay? So now we're gonna go a bit deeper inside the software, of course. So as you know, it can be linked also if you have a patient software. If you have different, depending on your country, you have sometimes patient software. So it can be linked with the prescription sometimes. So you can ask your commercial, and you're gonna answer if it's possible or not to link the prescription to the patient software. What does that mean? That means you don't have to put the name, the weight, and so on 2 times. You just put 1 time in your patient software, and when you open the prescription, you have already the new patient. If it's not the case, don't worry. It's not really a big deal to make a new patient. I will show you right now. So to create a new patient, basically you have the software like this. So before to create a new patient, I will just show you a few explanation about the personalization of the software. First thing you have to do, if you bought already the equipment, if you didn't do it before, you go to configuration and you will add cabinet information. So I will show you configuration, medical office. And in medical office, you will be able to put a logo, the name, address, and email and website. So every time you will print a document, you will have your information on it. So this is very important. It's the baseline for the communication. Okay, what else? To talk about the statistics, I advise you to do it 1 time per year. At the end of the year, when you have the accounting of the company, something like this, you do also some statistics about your cabinet. This is very important. If you want to grow your cabinet, you have some precious information, like how many Gonadja, how many Lombardia, how many sportsmen, how many, etc., etc. And it would be nice to see, to take 1 picture of your cabinet at this time. Okay. So to do it, you basically go to click on statistics. And if you add the data before, of course, you have different information with graphics or list. So I advise you to use list and put the list in Excel and do the graphics on an Excel. And create new patient. So you click on new patient. And then you don't have to add all the address, data, basic data, like the database, stuff like this, if you have a patient software. If you do not use anything as a patient software, you just a piece of paper and a pen, of course you can use the PressCam as a patient software. So you add all the data, the note and everything about general information here on this page. As an obligation, it's an obligation to put the foot size, the height, and the weight. Why? Because you have sensors inside. So if you don't communicate the right information to the sensors, it will be some bugs afterward, like overpressure, too low pressure, some mistakes exist. So you have to put the nice information, the good information at this step. So if you don't have you can have some equipment inside the cabinet to measure the weight if you are not sure about this. So here I think it's 43 size, if I'm right, Alex. 43, yeah.
Yeah.
And height?
178.
78 and 77?
Yeah, exactly. Correct.
77, okay. And here it's okay. So if you add the foot size, the height and the weight, you will be able to move on. So you validate. It is impatient, already the same name. Okay, so it's move on automatically to exam. Okay, so ask you to put one title on this exam, so it's not really complicated. You basically put clinical examination, you put renew the insource, for example, after 1 year, or you put control. You have 3 big titles. Why it's important to put the title here? Because it will be easier to understand the file with the explanation with the title. It will be also easier to find back the information from last year, for example. If you see a clinical examination and then you have all the acquisition inside, it will be easier to find back the data. So I advise you to put the title every time. So clinical examination. Okay, and you have a pre-list of complaints. So you have an existing list of complaints with 50, I think, different pathology. So you can select by yourself. You can also add in a case history, for example, the past injury, stress fractures, breaking bones, and so on. The note, I mean, lack of flexibility, over flexibility, everything you saw on your clinical examination. Because what I forgot to say is this step of the press cam, of course, it's the last step of the clinical examination. You did all the clinical examination. We will do together from next week all the clinical examination, and then you go to the press cam to validate everything. So it's the last step of the clinical examination. That's why we discussed today about the press cam. Why? Because if you know how to use it, then you can go deeper in the clinical examination and analyze everything. So we save time for the next webinar, in fact. So, and then you can add the correspondence. What does that mean? It's which doctors will send you the patient. So if you want to make some data, some stats at the end of the year, you have to put something. And this is clinical exam. Basically, you have the patient. If you have low shoulder, you have low pelvis, the knees, and so on, you can put all the information here. Okay, so if I click on the list of complaints, I have many existing pathology, and I will show you how to personalize a bit this list. Of course, if you add by yourself another pathology, it will be automatically inside the list. Okay, if I put, I don't know, stress, ankle fracture, and over OBT, for example, and I can put many information here. Here, you have also, of course, the shoe type and the wear shoes. So you can click directly. And here you can add also what you've done as on orthotics. You made 1 pair, you made 2 pairs, and you can put all the correction you did on the orthotics. Okay? Anti-pronation, for example. Okay. And when you validate everything like this, you will go automatically, you was in exam, you will go automatically to acquisition. So I validate, and automatically I will have these 4 different options, and then I will move backward just to show you how to personalize a bit this clinical examination. So if I cancel, I move back to exam, clinical examination I just did. Of course, as Laurent explained, if you have some question, do not hesitate to put the question in the live, and we will save about 10 minutes at the end of the show to answer your question. So this clinical examination, if you click on the printer, you can print out, of course, with the logo, the name, the data, basic data, clinical examination, clinical exam, what did you do with the orthotics, and the shoe examination, okay? And now, it's really nice base of working, but you can also personalize a bit this clinical examination. Everything you want to personalize, you have to go to Files. So you click on Files, you go to Clinical Exam, and here you have everything you can personalize. So you have here the main titles, shoulder, pelvis, and so on. If you stay on shoulder, you can change the title, so you can personalize. Inside shoulder, you can change also or add new information. So you can fully personalize the clinical examination. Okay, this was before to start. If I go back to where I was before, it was automatically in acquisition on a new acquisition. On new acquisition, of course, you have 4 different options. 2 in statics, 2 in dynamics. What does that mean? You have statics in one moment, just statics, that's all. You have postural. What is it postural? It's all the movement. If you select, for example, 10 seconds, you have all the movement for 10 seconds. Because everybody moves, of course. You are never like this, like a rock, never. And 2 in dynamic, so you have 1 dynamic, just 1 left foot, one right foot, and you have multiple dynamic also. So you go multiple times. Okay, so if I click on postural, for the moment nothing happened, it's normal. You have this step just for you to place the patient on it. So I will ask my patient to come. Hi everybody, you can stand on it. So, so here you have different way to position your patient. So I advise you to place yourself the feet. The goal, if you take the movie of the screen, Laurent, the goal is to have green light here. So you have left foot and right foot at the same level. So it's important to put always the patient like this. So I prefer to do it by myself. So I go and ask the patient, oh, okay. And here, I feel it's okay. I advise you also to put, like in the ski boots, as if you know this technique, you put the patellas in front of you, okay? Never like this or like this, okay? So I just check if I have the patellas in front of me, straight, okay? And here it's okay. Now, before to go on, to start the acquisition, it's important to make the acquisition in a good way. What does that mean? For about 1 hour or even more, you know, Alex checked me with the turn a bit of the head. So have some muscles disorder, let's say, stuff like this. So I want to start from 0. So I will ask him to go touch the feet and go back. Perfect, thank you. And thank you. And here, it's okay. Look straight, do not move, and nothing disturbing around. No big light on it, no sound, no music, nothing in the pocket, stuff like that. Nothing to disturb the postural things. And here, I can click on acquisition, and he will ask, by default, it's always 30 seconds. 30 seconds, I advise you to change a bit because for me, it's too long. You can try on yourself, 30 seconds, it's really long. So I advise you to put 10 or 15 seconds maximum. So I will put 10 seconds here. You can also plug a webcam, simple webcam, no matter which webcam. You plug on your laptop, you can read You can read the explanation on your USB key if you want, but it's really simple. You just have to plug the webcam. And if you click on video recording, you will have the movie from the webcam in the same time. In these 10 seconds of movie from the webcam also at the same time. So I click on OK. And you can see the webcam also on the screen. Of course, in your cabinet, you don't talk at the same time. Okay. Thank you, Alex. So now, just before to start the analyze, we don't go straight to analyze. You will have to check a bit some position first. You don't go straight without thinking to analyze. You just have to go to move footprint. Okay, move footprint. Because as you can see, the print is a bit lower. It's not at the center of the screen. So if I click on center, I will move to the center. So when you will print out the document, it will be more beautiful first.
So you click on, show again the button?
Here.
Okay.
Move footprint. So you make the footprint at the center. First, so it's the first step to do. Then you can also move this white line, because you know the function of this white line. It's basically to cut the feed. Forefoot, back foot. So if you want to cut forefoot, back foot, you have to put approximately at the steel width part, this lateral bolt. Or if you don't want to cut forefoot, back foot, you click one time on the line, up, and you remove the line. So you just basically analyze right and left. So what to start about? It's basically very simple at the beginning. You have to control the pressure point and the size, the form of the print. So if you have high harsh, low harsh, large, and stuff like this. Don't forget it's the pressure plate. So it's not because you have no pressure on the midfoot that you have high harsh automatically. It can be overpronation, it can be something else. Okay. So more you read, more you have pressure. It's very simple to understand. Afterward, you have also this maximum point. You can follow here, max point, max pressure point at 750 grams per centimeter cube. Okay, at this point. But be careful on that, because it's not because you will have every time, all the time, one maximum point of pressure. Doesn't mean that you have to, you will discuss about this. I will explain myself. You can move also the mouse on the opposite here, the cursor. And if you have big difference between M point 750 and this point here, cursor 679, here you can say, okay, I have overpressure on the left. This is not really the case because you have approximately the same amount of pressure between the two here. Okay, this is basically simple to understand, and then you have percentage of weight between right and left. This will be important if you have short leg, for example, or stuff like this. So you have here 49% on the left and 51 on the no, opposite, sorry. 49 on the right, 51 on the left. Is it a big difference? Not really. So, but if you have a big difference, then you will control a bit of correction elements and see the difference. I will show you after. In terms of kilos of weight, it's 38, 39, so it's about the same, no big difference. Foot area, what is it? It's the surfaces where you have pressure on the floor. So you have about the same also, 139, 144. Okay, so about the same between right and left. Okay, when you discuss about this, you have only one point to control again. It's the gravity, the center of pressure. It's not gravity center properly. Gravity center is higher. The center of pressure should be approximately between left and right, and should be approximately last third of the full footprint. So if I cut in 3 parts, should be approximately here. So it's approximately at the right place, okay? Because you have to know the physiological one before to know the pathological one. So here we have no big problem, in fact, on that case. What else? When you have, so basically today is to know the basic knowledge about this equipment, just for you to save time before the next webinars we will do together. Because when we are going to talk about clinical examination, you have to know how it works, this equipment. And here we are going to test some correction in lab to make comparison and to go deeper in the analysis. The first goal of today is to understand how it works in general. So in general, you have to compare, to check the point of pressure, compare the weight between right and left, check the position of the center of pressure, and that's all. But now you can also comment a bit these documents. You have 2 options to comment. I advise you to comment all the time something, because you show to the prescriber and to the patient that you have this equipment, but you know how to use it, you know how to analyze. So you have this square here, white square. Here you can put a general comment. So 1 comment about everything, okay? And you have also this square here, or you can put precise comments. So I will show you. If you want to put 1 general comment here, for example, high arch, and if when you print out, my general comment will be here. So you can you can subline the comment, so you put some data in front of the eyes of the prescriber and the patient. So these general comments, if you click on these measurements, I click on comment, and I put some precise comments, like this. So the first click is where you put the comment, second click where you put the text of the comment. Okay, so you have general comments and 1 precise comments. So if I print out the file, I have 1 more time the general comment and 1 precise comment. So you show that you know how to use your equipment. So this is really, really important, and I advise you to do this automatically. If you have nothing to show, you just print out like this. But when you have something to show, you put the comment. Okay, okay, and next time we are going to discuss together how to compare different data. Also, if you have a question about this, put it in the lab, please. And now I advise you to, we go deeper in the dynamic analysis. And if you have question about the comparison, we will move back to the comparison at the end. Because we are going to talk about this next week and the weeks after, so we have time, don't worry. Okay, so if I go back, because every time you create 1 clinical examination, 1 exam, you can put inside a lot of acquisition as you want. You can put 2 statistics, you can put 3 dynamics, you can put whatever you want, but you stay in the same clinical examination. So in the same clinical examination, you put a lot of acquisition if you want, okay? Do not create a new clinical examination every time. You use the same and you put acquisition inside. Okay, so new acquisition. So if I click on new acquisition, I have 1 more time the 4 different options. So static, dynamic, multiple dynamic, or postural. So if I expand multiple dynamics, it will be better. And this, I want to spend a bit of time on that point because it's a really important step. Because I saw, I visited a lot of cabinets the past few years, and I see a lot of cabinets make the patient work on it and go forward and go to analyze. It's not that simple. You have to control if you analyze the right thing. Because if you analyze not the right step, then everything is enough. It's only a communication tools, but you don't go deeper to the analyze. So this step you have to listen because it's very important one, and I want to spend a lot of time on that point. So multiple dynamic. Okay. You have this first square. Acquisition time is 1 second. Why? Because in average.
We just have a question on the static before to move to dynamic. Rushabh is asking, what is the ideal distribution of pressure between forefoot and rear foot?
Yeah,
50-50?
No,
it's
a nice question, by the way. No, because if you follow the axis of the body, you have logically more weight on the heel, because you see the axis like this, it's going to my heels. So if I have overpressure on the forefoot, it's pathological. So to answer precisely the question, it should be 60% on the heels, 40 on the forefoot, not 50-50.
60% on the heel?
Yeah, 60% on the heels, 40 on the forefoot.
This is a normal pressure.
Normal pressure.
Cool.
So you have, it's a nice question because as you can see on Alex, you have a bit more pressure on the heels, but I didn't say anything because you have physiologically more pressure on the heels. Yeah. Okay, so I wanted just to finish the explanation about this. Acquisition parameters, why it's only 1 second acquisition time? Because in average, when you work, one step is less than 1 second. It's 850 milliseconds. So it's never over 1 second. So you can let the screen like this. You never change. You don't have to change. Okay, and here it's a really important one. We have, and I need Laurent to move a bit the camera just to finish the explanation. You can fix it. We have to work on the custom. Okay, so now to work on it, how you can do it, because every time we had some. All of us had some patients who have difficulties to work on the pressure plate. Like you work like this, you make a little step and you work on it. You make big steps and you work on it. So it's not natural, I should say. So it should be as much natural as possible. So how you can do it, if you have patients with difficulties, you have a simple technique. You ask the patient to start on the platform, like this. 1 step, 2 steps, and you stay and you go on. So you will be at the right position. Okay. So I will ask my patient to work a bit on the platform as natural as possible. Of course, here we are not in the cabinet. In your cabinet, it would be perfect if you have 2 steps before to work on it and 2 steps after to work on it. To have a bit longer distance. Here for the show, it's enough. But in your cabinet, it's better if you have a bit longer work perimeter. Okay, go on. So make a break, please. So here, as you can see, you have the right foot at the right foot. So no big problems. Sometimes you can have the right foot go on the left, or the right foot is turn, twisted like this. So it's not a big deal, it's normal, because the software will estimate, okay, I think it's the right or I think it's the left, depending on this curve. But sometimes it's a bit of the mistakes. So if you have some mistakes, basically, you just click right and move to the opposite side. So it's very simple. And if you saw also, and I want to talk about it because it's very important, that it was a bit of a mistake. When he walked, you click right and delete straight. I want him to have as much as possible stable steps, because to have his own steps, natural steps. Okay? Okay. Okay, you can continue a bit. Okay, thank you, Alex. You can sit down. Okay, so now, of course, at the next webinars, we are going to explain a bit deeper all the different curves and so on, because as you understand, in 1 hour, it's not possible to explain everything. We need 1 day training, full training. But just for you to understand the goal at this step, you have all the forces curves here. See, when you work, basically, when you start on the hill, then you make a little pronation, you go back, and you propulse. So it's like this. You start, pronation, go back to propulsion. So it's make a curve like this. So the goal at this step is to have as much as possible identical curves. So if you have a lot of curves approximately the same, that you think, okay, it's a natural step for him. Not natural step in general, natural step for him. It's an important step. Then how it works? The software will calculate the average of all the lines. And then he will automatically decide, okay, I think the closest to the average is the second one. Here, I think the closest to the average is the first one. But at the end, we have only one step. Okay? So you have to be careful on this. So if you think the first one is not the most natural, you change the selection. Okay, so if you think the second one is better, and here, second one is good also, you can double click and you have in big size before to select. Okay, and I say the selection, and now we have the basic things to control. Basically, you have the pressure point. So when you have overpressure, you have weight point here and weight point here. Okay, so if you have overpressure, you can see the overpressure. Here, for example, on the right, you have too much pressure under the second metatarsal bones. Okay, so this is the first things to control, is the pressure point. Okay, and afterward, just the general knowledge, the gate line. As you know, the gate line, when you work, you start on the here, little movement of pronation, go back to lateral, and propulse with the first metatarsal bones. So you have to be like this. Go back a bit in the inside, go back in lateral, and go to propulsion under the first metatarsal bones. So what you can see here, it's a bit straight, but it's not really bad. It's not really far from the physiological curve. So no big problems here. Just a bit of overpressure under the second metatarsal bones. What else to explain? Of course, you can, and this is the patient lights in general, you can use this button here to make moving the data. So here is the first point. If you click on next image, you can do step by step. If you click on play, of course, you can play like this. And of course, at every steps, you can print out at this moment. And you can go back to the global image. So as you can see, as I explained before, on the statics, you have this square, and you can put a general comment. As you can see, this button here is not an option here. Why? Because you have two acquisitions here. You have the left and the right. So if you want to put a precise comment, you can also here select only the left or only the right. So if I select only the right, I have the measure again here, so I can put a precise comment. One more time. Precise comment here, and global and general comment here. And then you print out like this. Okay. I don't want to go too deep in explanation about the curves and so on, because I prefer to answer a few questions of the lab if we have about general things about statics and dynamic. This is the basic knowledge to start working with the PressCam. And then after a few months, after a few weeks, you will go deeper and deeper and have more and more questions about the pressure plate. So at the next, I think it's the 11th December 11th, we'll have the third part of the clinical examination with, again, a bit of the PressCam. So if you have more questions also coming after 1 month, do not hesitate to answer the question after 1 month also. What else I wanted to show? I think it's nice. We will go back maybe on one step I forgot to explain before. If I go back to the first acquisition, we did webcam at the same time. So if you go to video, you have the webcam. Of course, the webcam, depending on what do you want to show. If you want to show the calcaneus axis, if you want to show the knees, if you want to show the pelvis, if you want to show something else, you put the webcam at the different positions. So, as like I said, on the 11th, December 11th, we will have also the webcam, and we will change the position depending on the clinical examination, what I want to show. On this little button here, I can click on it and put axes, comments straight on the pictures. If I want to put one angle, for example, one angle like this, I can put one angle like this and print out the file with the pressure point and with the picture. So if you don't have a movie maker, you can use the PressCam as a movie maker. So this will be interesting for you. I have a few minutes still, so maybe I can show you how to compare different analyses. So I will ask my patient to go back to make a new analysis. With we have something, maybe small correction. Okay, you can go back on the pressure plate. So I advise you to have a few correction elements inside your pocket, maybe, or the one you use the most, and you put the elements under the feet, and you see the difference from the first acquisition. So today we'll go fast with a piece of carton, because we are not in the cabinet, but just to show you how it works. I just move back a bit the feet, put this also. Okay. Go back to your touching feet. So I go back to acquisition, postural, heel, c'est quoi en anglais, c'est heel cup. Heel cup, left.
Ouais, it's not heel cup, it's heel wedge.
Heel wedge. Ouais. Non, c'est pas grave, c'est parce qu'il y a une heel. C'est pas grave. Okay. In the same position, okay, like the first acquisition, and we'll be able to compare this one with the first one to see what's going on. Okay. So first step, as we said, we put the picture at the middle. I will start first. So this was the original acquisition without any correction. So if I want to compare with the last one, I go to compare here, compare, search new one. This is my patient from today. Today, 12, clinical examination, and I have this postural one, the last one. So I just basically double click on it. This is the first acquisition. This is the second acquisition with the correction, and I can compare both of them. So I can see that it's not going well. Why? Because The first one was okay, 51.49. The second one, with the heel wedge on the left, I didn't do clinical examination. But why? One more time, you should do this step at the end of the clinical examination, so you know what you try. I tried the heel wedge on the left, and I had 58% of the weight on the left. So do I put this correction on the Mario orthotics? No, I don't. So it's validation tools, also invalidation tools. So if you think about one correction, you try the correction, you compare, and you see if it's going well or not. Okay, so it's validation tools. I think we explained everything. We can go back to the question if you have some question. No question? So maybe we can have a small conclusion with Laurent.
Yeah. Yes. So thank you very much for your attention. This video will be by 2 weeks on the YouTube CIDAS Academy. So you can share it with your customer, and you can use it for when you want to train yourself or new staff member. The next webinar will be at the same time next week, so next Thursday, and step by step we'll go deeper into the techniques. So come share the link with your colleagues, and we hope to see more people next time. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, all of you. If you have few questions during the week, don't hesitate to send email.
Okay, no question. Perfect. No question.
Don't hesitate to send email during the week, and as Laurent explained, till next week, we'll start with real clinical examination. We decided to cut in 3 steps. So clinical examination part 1, part 2, part 3, to be able to answer all the questions and to go as deep as possible. And then after these 3 presentations, we'll have one about how to communicate with the patient and with the prescriber and so on, and how to prepare the insoles depending on this clinical examination. So do not hesitate to follow up and to send an email, and see you next week.
See you next week. Thank you very much.
Bye.